Most people believe that discipline is a personal virtue, something you either possess or lack. If you struggle with consistency, you're told you're lazy, weak, or simply not trying hard enough. This belief is deeply rooted in modern culture, but it is fundamentally wrong. Discipline, as it's commonly understood, is not only misunderstood, it actively contradicts the way the human brain evolved to function. This is not a metaphor or a motivational exaggeration. It's a neurobiological fact. The human brain did not evolve to pursue long-term goals, abstract achievements, or constant self-improvement. It evolved to keep you alive. For hundreds of thousands of years, survival depended on conserving energy, avoiding unnecessary risk, and seizing immediate rewards whenever possible. That ancient programming never disappeared. It still shapes your behavior every single day. Your brain does not want you to wake up early and exercise. It wants you to stay in bed because rest equals safety and energy conservation. It does not want you to study, write, train, or push yourself into discomfort. It wants quick pleasure, predictable rewards, and minimal effort. Scrolling your phone, eating something sweet, or doing nothing at all delivers dopamine faster and with far less cost. This is not a flaw or a failure of character. It is a survival system doing exactly what it was designed to do. The real problem is that modern society demands the opposite. We are expected to think long-term, delay gratification, remain focused, and perform consistently in environments filled with constant stimulation. This creates a permanent internal conflict, an ancient brain optimized for survival, operating in a world that rewards discipline. When people try to resolve this conflict using pure willpower, they eventually fail. Not because they are weak, but because willpower was never meant to overpower millions of years of evolutionary conditioning. You cannot sustainably fight biology with motivation alone. It may work for a few days, sometimes even weeks, but fatigue always wins. When mental energy drops, the brain returns to autopilot, and autopilot always chooses comfort. James Clear expressed this insight clearly. Real discipline does not come from force, it comes from design. The people who appear disciplined are not more motivated than you. They are not morally superior or mentally tougher. They have simply built systems and environments that make the right behavior easy, automatic, and unavoidable. They don't fight their brain, they work with it. If you've ever felt ashamed for procrastinating or angry at yourself for failing to follow through, this is not evidence of a personal flaw. It means you were trying to change behavior without understanding the system behind it. Discipline seems simple in theory. Want something badly enough, stay focused, resist temptation. But the brain does not operate on ideals. It operates on efficiency. It prioritizes comfort, safety, and immediate payoff. For most of human history, effort was dangerous. Wasting energy could mean starvation or death. So the brain learned to avoid effort unless absolutely necessary. That's why tasks that demand effort without immediate reward feel heavy, frustrating, or exhausting, while effortless pleasure feels irresistible. This tendency is known as cognitive ease, the brain's natural pull toward the path of least resistance, and this choice happens before conscious thought. That's why the problem is not laziness or lack of discipline. It's a design mismatch. Motivation is unstable and unreliable because it depends on mood, energy, and emotional state. When stress increases or fatigue sets in, motivation collapses. The brain switches to autopilot, and autopilot defaults to comfort. If you constantly rely on self-control, you are fighting a losing battle. The real solution is not to try harder, but to redesign the conditions in which your decisions are made. Your environment is the silent architect of your behavior. Most people believe self-control is an inner strength, but in reality, it is fragile and easily overwhelmed. Place anyone in a poorly designed environment, and discipline collapses. Imagine wanting to work out in the morning. Your clothes are hidden in a drawer, your shoes are far away, your phone is already in your hand, notifications flashing. The couch is nearby, warm and familiar. At that point, the decision is no longer about values or ambition. It becomes a question of friction. The brain chooses what is closest, most visible, and least demanding. This is called choice architecture. Human behavior follows accessibility, not intention. Small environmental changes can produce massive behavioral shifts. Studies show that simply placing healthier options closer increases their consumption, without any motivational effort. The brain doesn't resist when the better option is also the easiest one. Apply this logic to your own life. Want to read more? Leave the book where your eyes naturally land. Want to reduce phone usage? Remove notifications and increase the effort required to access distracting apps. Want to train consistently? Prepare everything the night before. Discipline does not come from effort. It comes from preparation. Disciplined people are not stronger. They are more intentional in how they structure their surroundings. They create systems where the right behavior costs less energy than the wrong one. Beyond environment, habits play a crucial role. The brain runs on habit loops: cue, action, reward. Many of your daily behaviors already happen automatically, without thought or effort. Habit stacking takes advantage of this structure. Instead of building new habits from nothing, you attach them to habits that already exist. After brushing your teeth, you meditate for 2 minutes. After making coffee, you write 1 sentence. After locking the door, you take a deep breath and set your focus for the day. The existing habit becomes the trigger for the new one. This works because starting is the hardest part of any action. Once you begin, momentum carries you forward. Habit stacking removes the decision point entirely. The action happens before resistance, doubt, or procrastination can appear. The key is to keep the new habit small, clear, and immediate. 2 minutes, 1 page, 1 simple action. Over time, these micro-behaviors compound into routines that feel natural and effortless. Procrastination, then, is not laziness. It is a signal of poor design. The brain avoids tasks that feel unclear, overwhelming, unrewarding, or difficult to start. That's why James Clear outlines 4 laws of behavior change. Make it obvious, make it attractive, make it easy, and make it satisfying. If a habit is hidden, boring, complicated, and unrewarding, procrastination is inevitable. Not because you lack discipline, but because the system is broken. When habits are visible, enjoyable, simple, and rewarding, action flows without force. Finally, there is a deeper layer that ties everything together: identity. You do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems, and those systems are reinforced by who you believe you are. Every small action is a vote for an identity. When you act, even briefly, you are reinforcing the belief, I am someone who follows through. Discipline is not the end goal. It is the side effect of alignment between environment, habits, and identity. You don't need to conquer your brain. You need to design a path where the right behavior becomes the path of least resistance. So stop waiting for motivation. Stop blaming yourself for biology. Start building systems that work even on bad days. You don't need to be perfect. You only need to be consistent enough to let the system carry you forward. The real question now is simple. Which habit will you redesign first?